Congresswoman Maxine Waters, Democrat of California, recently lost her older sister to the virus. And Congresswoman, first, I wanted to just offer my condolences on your loss and asked if you can just tell us a little bit about your sister.
Well, I want to thank you very much for taking time to, give me this condolence. And let me just say, she was the firstborn. She was Velma Lee Moody, and of course, the maiden name was Carr. We're all Carrs. And, during her very young life, she was a leader in the community, very active. She was the best dancer in the neighborhood. She was the one that was in charge of our home when our mother had to be in the hospital or off on business. And so she was revered by all of us. And of course, she was elderly now. And what's interesting is, she needed a hip operation. And so they took her into the hospital. They gave her the hip operation and they didn't even test her until afterwards. And from that point, she went down. And she was a matter of a couple of weeks and she was gone. We buried her yesterday.
I'm so sorry about that again. I know that so many people have been touched by this closely. I wonder how it's changed your perspective, if it has at all, about how you're thinking about this, how you're communicating to folks in your district or in your caucus or across the aisle about this pandemic.
Well, first of all, let me just say that all of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle have sent their condolences. They sent flowers to the spiritual moment that they had. They're not really funerals anymore. And so I've been on a lot of virtual programs where I've been talking to people about this. I was on Griot and I got very, very tough. And I said, I want to tell you young people, keep your A's at home. I was very tough. And I said that, you're not invincible and you can't go out partying and thinking that somehow it's happening to someone else. And I think that a lot of families have had a difficult time convincing the young people that they can be infected, and this is deadly. And so I try and, particularly with the young people, let them know that they've got to change their thinking if somehow they're thinking this is just happening to older people. Of course, older people are more vulnerable. People with pre-existing conditions are more vulnerable. And we know all of that. And so I think older people are taking more care and they're paying attention and they're staying in. But it's the younger ones that I'm worried about. And so I keep telling the story about what I know has happened as much as I possibly can in these last few days where I've witnessed what has happened to my sister.